Well, soaring temperatures are on the way, and Mayor de Blasio has issued a heat emergency across the city as the high heat and humidity come with health risks such as heat exhaustion or even a stroke. The New York City Triathlon has even been canceled as a safety precaution. And so joining us now is Dr. Ernest Patti. He's attending emergency room physician at St. Barnabas Hospital. First off, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you really are on the front line. So if people are overheated, if they are suffering a heat stroke, you see them come in. So what are those symptoms and what do you do to treat them? Well,
we see the myriad of symptoms that are related to heat-related illness. People come in feeling fatigued, dry, dehydrated, weak. Some of them come in with nausea and vomiting and basically just washed out, from the heat and the humidity. And it can progress, especially if the symptoms are not treated appropriately or recognized by the patients and or those around them.
And so how do you know if you've had too much sun? Or let's say this weekend, the humidity as well as a factor. Does that contribute and add to this problem? How should you be aware?
The humidity is a really big factor because the way the body cools itself, it has a number of mechanisms, but one of the most effective ones is by evaporating sweat off of your body. So you perspire and that sweat evaporates and it cools the body's temperature down. As the humidity rises, it's really harder for that mechanism to work because the air is full of moisture. It's harder to evaporate. So that mechanism starts to fail. And if you continue to do your activities and your exercises without paying attention to that, you'll eventually get into the heat-related disorders and eventually, get really sick. But I'm definitely concerned, especially this weekend. Make no mistake, this is going to be a scorcher. And people should, if they need to get outside, go out early in the morning or later in the evening when the sun is at its lowest points. Don't exercise or exert yourself outside. Stay indoors, air-conditioned areas, right? Folks would go to the movies or go to the mall, right, where there's areas where air-conditioned, public libraries, places like that to help you keep cool.
Right, so no jogging in the middle of the afternoon or anything like that, yes.
It would definitely be a best idea not to do that.
Now, people sometimes, they go to the beach, they go to the pool to cool off, but spending too many hours outdoors, you were just mentioning, should you limit those hours?
You should limit those hours outdoors. You should also bring some shade, bring an umbrella with you, even if you're normally not one to sit under the umbrella. It's a really good idea to have it. Give your body a little bit of a rest because in the direct sunlight, your core temperature is going to go up. You're going to need to replenish your fluids, and you're going to need to definitely keep an eye on how your body's reacting. If your heart rate starts to rise dramatically, if you start to feel weak or faint, or you start noticing those around you are exhibiting those symptoms, these are harbingers that you should get in the cool, get some cool fluids, and give your body a rest.
And so what about the people, your neighbors, that you should perhaps be checking on, elderly, or if you see children or pets in vehicles? What should you do?
You mentioned the two biggest categories. The very old and the very young are always at risk for heat-related illness. So what you should do is check on your neighbors, your elderly neighbors who live alone. Check on those with little children. And please, please, please never even consider leaving a pet or a child in a car because the temperatures in cars go up within seconds in a heat-related weekend like we're going to experience. People can die immediately in a hot car with closed windows. So what I would do is make sure you speak to your neighbors, your friends, and your loved ones and remind them, hey, during the weekend, you're taking the kids out for a drive. Please do not leave them in the car. Remember, when you stop at the ATM or you stop at the convenience store, take the children with you. I mean, I have my own kids. I'm a dad, and my kids are older now, but, we never would leave them in the car.
Right, and really great tips. Thank you so much, not only for our own safety, but for the safety of everyone else around us. Thank you so much, Dr. Patti, for being here.
Thank you. And remember, we're on duty 24/7, 365. So if you're worried, bring your loved ones to the emergency department, and it's better to be safe than sorry.